Imagine this. You've worked so hard for something you deeply wanted, an exam, a dream job, maybe even a personal goal, and you fail. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. What do? Most people give up. They convince themselves, I'm just not good enough. But here's the truth. Your failure doesn't define you. Your mindset does. Welcome to this journey, where we'll explore one of the most powerful forces that shapes your life, your mindset. Today, we're going to talk about cultivating a growth mindset, unlocking your hidden potential, and embracing challenges as stepping stones to success. Let's start simple. There are two kinds of mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, people believe that talent, intelligence, and abilities are static. You're either born with them or not. If you fail, you think, that's it, I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough. But in a growth mindset, failure is just feedback. Challenges are opportunities. Skills can be developed. Intelligence can grow. And every setback is simply a setup for a comeback. Let's start simple. There are two kinds of mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, people believe that talent, intelligence, and abilities are static. You're either born with them or not. If you fail, you think, that's it, I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough. But in a growth mindset, failure is just feedback. Challenges are opportunities. Skills can be developed. Intelligence can grow. And every setback is simply a setup for a comeback. Take Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. Did you know he was actually cut from his high school basketball team? Imagine if he had said, I guess basketball isn't for me. But instead, he said, I'll work harder. That's growth mindset in action. Here's the truth. Talent matters. Hard work matters. But mindset, that's the foundation. Because if you don't believe you can grow, you'll never try. And if you never try, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. Think about a time in your own life when you failed. Maybe an exam, a business idea, or even a relationship. Did you close the book and say, I'm not good at this? Or did you say, what can I learn? How can I improve? That tiny shift in thought makes the biggest difference in your life trajectory. In this video, we're going to dive deep. You're going to learn how to embrace challenges, how to see failure as your greatest teacher, and how to rewire your brain to unlock the incredible potential that's already inside you. By the end of this session, you won't just understand growth mindset, you'll be living it. So, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin this powerful journey together. Because your mindset matters, and it might just change everything. Let's take a step back and really ask ourselves, what exactly is a mindset? A mindset is simply the set of beliefs you hold about yourself and the world. It's like the lens through which you see life. Two people can face the same situation, but one sees it as a dead end, while the other sees it as a doorway to new opportunities. The difference? Their mindset. Here's something fascinating. Your brain is not fixed. For years, scientists believed that once you reach adulthood, your brain stops changing. But research in neuroscience has proven the opposite. The brain is flexible. It has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can rewire itself, create new connections, and grow stronger just like a muscle. So, when you learn a new skill, when you practice something hard, when you embrace a challenge, your brain is literally reshaping itself to make you better. Think of a child learning how to ride a bicycle. The first time they fall, a fixed mindset would say, I'm not good at this, I'll never learn. But a growth mindset would say, falling is part of the process. Every fall means I'm closer to balance. And guess what? The child who keeps getting back on the bike eventually learns to ride, not because they were born with balance, but because they refused to quit. Think of a child learning how to ride a bicycle. The first time they fall, a fixed mindset would say, I'm not good at this, I'll never learn. But a growth mindset would say, falling is part of the process. Every fall means I'm closer to balance. And guess what? The child who keeps getting back on the bike eventually learns to ride, not because they were born with balance, but because they refused to quit. Let me give you some real stories. Albert Einstein didn't speak until the age of 4, and his teachers thought he was slow. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a TV anchor because she was considered unfit for television. Elon Musk was ridiculed when he started SpaceX. People said it was impossible. Today, he has rockets landing themselves. All of these people had one thing in common: a growth mindset. But let's not ignore the other side. A fixed mindset can trap you. If you believe you're just not good at math, you'll avoid it forever. If you believe you're bad at relationships, you'll never work to improve them. If you believe you're not creative, you'll never discover the creative side of you that's waiting to be explored. It's not the failure that limits you, it's the belief that you cannot grow. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, where in my life do I hold a fixed mindset? Do I believe I can't improve in a certain skill? Do I tell myself I'm just not that kind of person? Write those areas down, because the first step to changing your mindset is becoming aware of it. So now we understand, a mindset is a lens. A growth mindset allows you to see possibilities where others see limitations. But the real test of mindset shows up when life throws challenges your way. And that's exactly what we'll explore next: why challenges are not roadblocks, but stepping stones to your greatest growth. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you faced a real challenge? Did it scare you? Did you want to run away from it? If yes, you're not alone. Our brains are wired to avoid discomfort, to stick to what feels safe. But here's the paradox: growth only happens outside of that comfort zone. Think of your muscles. If you never lift anything heavy, your muscles stay weak. But when you push against resistance, when you lift weights, your muscles tear, repair, and grow stronger. Your mind works the same way. Challenges are the weights of the mind. They may feel heavy, they may hurt at first, but they are what make you mentally stronger. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed more than 1,000 times before he succeeded. When a journalist asked him, "How did it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." That's the mindset shift. Challenges aren't failures, they're steps forward. I want you to think about your biggest challenge right now. Maybe it's your studies, your job, your health, or your relationships. Instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me? How can this challenge make me better?" Because the truth is, challenges are not sent to destroy you. They are sent to develop you. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was rejected by 12 publishers before one finally said yes. Colonel Sanders, founder of KFC, heard no more than 1,000 times before someone agreed to try his chicken recipe. Cristiano Ronaldo trains harder after every failure on the field. For him, every defeat is fuel. They didn't avoid challenges, they embraced them, and that's why the world remembers them. Here's a powerful exercise you can do. Write down one challenge you are currently avoiding. Then write 3 possible ways that this challenge could actually help you grow. Maybe by teaching you patience, discipline, or creativity. You'll notice something amazing. The moment you reframe a challenge as a lesson, it stops being your enemy and becomes your teacher. So remember this: comfort zones may feel safe, but they are prisons for potential. Challenges, on the other hand, may feel scary, but they are the doorways to transformation. The next time you face a challenge, don't shrink back. Step into it with courage, because that's where growth begins. Now that we understand the power of challenges, let's talk about the flip side of the same coin: failure. Because challenges often bring failures with them. But failure, my friends, is not the end. It is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Let's be honest. Nobody likes failure. It hurts. It feels embarrassing. It makes us question ourselves. But here's the truth: failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. When you fail, you are not being punished. You are being educated. Failure is feedback. It's information. It's life saying, "Not this way, try another." If you can shift your perspective and see failure as a teacher, you'll unlock a level of resilience that most people never reach. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job because his editor told him he lacked imagination. Later, he built an empire of imagination. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, Apple, but he came back years later to build it into one of the most valuable companies in the world. J.K. Rowling was a single mother on welfare, rejected over and over again by publishers. Today, Harry Potter is one of the most successful book series ever written. What's the lesson? They didn't let failure define them. They let failure refine them. Think of one failure in your life, something that broke you, maybe an exam, a relationship, a job opportunity. Now I want you to ask yourself, what did that failure teach me? Did it make me stronger? Did it redirect me to something better? Did it show me what not to do? Write it down, because once you see the lesson, failure loses its power to hurt you. Most people fear failure because they think it says something permanent about who they are. I failed, therefore I am a failure. But that's not true. Failure is an event, not a person. When a baby learns to walk, they fall hundreds of times. But nobody calls the baby a failure. We celebrate their effort. So why don't we treat ourselves the same way as adults? I want to share a tool with you, the Failure Journal. Here's how it works. Every time you fail at something, write it down. But don't stop there. Also write what you learned from it. Over time, you'll see a pattern. Failure was not destroying you. It was building you. There's a Japanese proverb that says, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8." That's the essence of a growth mindset. Success doesn't come from never falling. Success comes from always rising. So the next time you fail, smile and say, "Thank you, teacher. What are you here to teach me today?" And that brings us to the next step in our journey, unlocking potential. Because once you embrace challenges and learn from failure, you begin to tap into strengths and abilities you never knew you had. And that's where the magic happens. Here's a question I want you to sit with. What if your potential is far greater than anything you've ever imagined? What if the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is your mindset? Let's start with a simple truth. You will never act beyond what you believe is possible. If you believe you can't achieve something, you won't even try. If you believe you might achieve it, you'll give half-hearted effort. But if you believe with certainty that you can grow, that you can improve, you will act with full force. And those actions will unlock results that seem impossible right now. In 1954, doctors and experts believed it was physically impossible for a human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. People thought the body would collapse. But Roger Bannister didn't accept that limit. He trained, he believed, and he broke the 4-minute barrier. Here's the amazing part. Within a year, dozens of runners also broke it. What changed? Not their bodies, their belief. Belief is the seed, but action is the water. Potential grows when you combine belief with consistent habits. Let me share some key habits that unlock potential. 1. Self-talk reprogramming. Start noticing how you talk to yourself. Replace "I can't" with "I can't yet." Swap "I'm not good enough" with "I'm still growing." Your words shape your world. 2. Daily affirmations. Simple, powerful statements like, "I am capable of learning and growing." "I embrace challenges as opportunities." "I am not defined by failure, I am refined by it." 3. Visualization. Every day, close your eyes and imagine your best self. See yourself succeeding, speaking confidently, passing that exam, building that business, running that marathon. The mind cannot distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences, so visualization primes you for action. 4. Celebrate small wins. Potential doesn't unlock overnight. You don't climb Everest in a single step. You celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. Every small win tells your brain, "Yes, I can." Let's do a short exercise together. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Where are you? What are you doing? What kind of person have you become? See yourself smiling, confident, strong. See yourself having overcome the challenges you face today. Now imagine walking up to that future version of you. They look you in the eyes and say, "You had everything inside you all along. All you had to do was believe and keep going." Take that image, hold it in your heart, and remember, it's not just a dream. It's a version of you that's waiting to be unlocked. A student failing math who decided to practice just 1 extra hour every day, eventually topping their class. A person struggling with weight loss who replaced 1 bad habit at a time, months later transforming their health. An entrepreneur who kept refining their idea after dozens of rejections, finally building a thriving business. What's common in all these stories? They didn't unlock their potential all at once. They did it step by step, choice by choice, habit by habit. Here's something you can try today. Draw a ladder on a piece of paper. At the bottom, write where you are now. At the top, write your biggest dream. Then fill in the rungs with small, achievable steps. This exercise makes your dream feel possible. Because unlocking potential is not about giant leaps, it's about steady steps upward. So remember this, your potential is limitless. It's not something you have to find outside of yourself. It's already inside you, waiting to be unlocked. And the key is belief plus consistent action. Now that we've learned how to unlock potential, let's explore how to put a growth mindset into action in everyday life, whether it's in your studies, your work, your relationships, or your health. Because theory is useless unless it's lived.
Knowledge is power, but only when applied. It's not enough to understand what a growth mindset is, or to believe in your potential. The real magic happens when you live it, when you put growth mindset into action every single day. Let's start with education. A student with a fixed mindset says, "I'm just not good at math. I'll never get it." So they avoid trying, they give up quickly, and their grades stay low. But a student with a growth mindset says, "Math is hard, but with practice, I can improve." They stay after class, they ask questions, they keep practicing, and eventually they improve. The difference isn't talent, it's mindset. Now let's talk about work. An entrepreneur with a fixed mindset gives up after a failed product launch. But one with a growth mindset says, this is feedback. What can I do better next time? And that mindset is what leads to eventual breakthroughs. Even in a career, when you're passed over for a promotion, a fixed mindset says, I'm not leadership material. But a growth mindset says, what skills can I build to be ready next time? In health, too, the same principle applies. A fixed mindset says, I'll never be fit. I just don't have the body for it. But a growth mindset says, I may not be where I want to be yet, but every workout makes me stronger. One person quits after a week, the other keeps going and transforms their life. Relationships are another area where mindset matters. A fixed mindset person says, this relationship isn't working. It must mean we're not compatible. They give up quickly. But a growth mindset says, relationships require effort, communication, and learning. We can grow together. And often, that mindset saves and strengthens the bond. Let's do a few quick scenarios together. You fail a test. Fixed mindset, I'm stupid. Growth mindset, what can I study differently next time? You get rejected in a job interview. Fixed mindset, I'm unemployable. Growth mindset, what skills can I build to improve for the next one? You start a new hobby and you're terrible at it. Fixed mindset, I'll never be good at this. Growth mindset, I'm just at the beginning of the learning curve. Which mindset would you rather live with? Here are some simple but powerful practices to put a growth mindset into action. 1. Reframe problems as opportunities. Instead of saying, this is a problem, say, this is a puzzle. How can I solve it? 2. Add the word yet. Anytime you say, I can't, add yet. This single word changes everything. 3. Ask learning questions. Instead of asking, did I succeed? Ask, what did I learn? 4. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Mindsets are contagious. If you want to grow, be around people who challenge and inspire you. 5. Practice gratitude for challenges. Every time you face something hard, say, thank you, life. This is helping me grow. At the end of every day, ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1. What did I learn today? 2. Where did I grow today? 3. What will I try differently tomorrow? This simple reflection can rewire your brain for growth in just a few weeks. So putting growth mindset into action isn't about waiting for the big moments. It's about small daily choices, choosing effort over giving up, learning over quitting, growth over comfort. And over time, those small choices add up to a completely transformed life. But here's the truth. Living with a growth mindset isn't always easy. There are obstacles that will try to pull you back: criticism, comparison, self-doubt. And in our next section, we'll learn exactly how to overcome those obstacles so your growth journey stays unstoppable.
Let's face it, even if you have a growth mindset, life isn't always smooth. There are obstacles that will challenge you again and again. Criticism, comparison, and self-doubt. These are the silent killers of growth. But the good news is, you can learn to overcome them. Criticism hurts. Sometimes it's constructive. Sometimes it's cruel. A fixed mindset hears criticism and thinks, they're attacking me. I must not be good enough. So they shut down. But a growth mindset hears criticism and asks, is there truth here that I can use to improve? Think of athletes. Their coaches constantly point out their mistakes, not to shame them, but to help them grow. Without feedback, there's no improvement. Practical tip. Whenever you face criticism, pause and ask, what part of this can help me get better? Ignore the insult, extract the insight. Let's talk about the trap of comparison. Social media makes it worse. You see everyone's highlight reel and compare it to your behind the scenes. A fixed mindset says, they're better than me. I'll never measure up.
But a growth mindset says, they inspire me. If they can do it, maybe I can too. Remember, flowers don't compete with each other. A rose never looks at a sunflower and says, I'm not enough. It just blooms. Practical tip: turn envy into inspiration. Whenever you feel jealous of someone, write down one thing you can learn from them and one action you can take to improve yourself. Now let's talk about the hardest obstacle of all: self-doubt. That inner voice that whispers, you can't do this, you're not smart enough, who do you think you are? Self-doubt is normal. Even the most successful people feel it. The difference is, they act anyway. A growth mindset says, I may not know everything, but I can learn. I may not be ready yet, but I can prepare. I may be afraid, but I'll try anyway. Here's a simple trick. Whenever self-doubt shows up, add the word yet. I don't know how to do this yet. I'm not confident enough yet. I haven't succeeded yet. This one word turns self-doubt into self-growth. So remember, criticism doesn't have to crush you, comparison doesn't have to consume you, and self-doubt doesn't have to stop you. When you shift your mindset, these obstacles stop being roadblocks and start becoming stepping stones. In the next part, we'll build your growth mindset toolkit, a set of practical daily rituals, journaling prompts, and strategies you can use every single day to strengthen your mindset and stay on the path of growth. Up to now, we've talked about mindset in theory and in action. But to truly live with a growth mindset, you need tools, simple, practical habits you can use every single day. Think of this section as your personal growth mindset toolkit. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything. Instead of grabbing your phone and scrolling, start with a growth mindset ritual. Take 2 minutes to repeat an affirmation. Today, I choose growth over fear. I choose learning over comfort. Take 3 deep breaths and visualize one challenge you will face today. Then imagine yourself handling it calmly and successfully. Write down one small thing you want to learn today. This primes your brain to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for rewiring your mindset. Here are some prompts you can use daily. What challenge did I face today, and what did it teach me? Where did I notice myself improving, even if just a little? What mistake did I make, and what did I learn from it? What am I proud of myself for today? When you write these down, you teach your brain to focus on growth instead of failure. At the end of each day, spend 5 minutes asking yourself, 1. What did I learn today? 2. How did I grow today? 3. What will I do better tomorrow? This daily reflection keeps you on the growth path. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you realize. Surround yourself with growth-minded people, friends, mentors, communities that push you forward. If you're always around people who complain, you'll start complaining. But if you're around people who talk about learning, goals, and solutions, you'll start thinking the same way. If you want to keep strengthening your mindset, here are some resources to dive into. Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck. Atomic Habits by James Clear. The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. Grit by Angela Duckworth. These books are like mindset gyms. They'll train your brain to think differently. Here's a challenge for you. Over the next 30 days, commit to one mindset practice daily. Day 1 to 10, practice adding yet to every negative thought. Day 11 to 20, journal your daily lessons and small wins. Day 21 to 30, share your growth with someone else. Teach them what you've learned. By the end of 30 days, you'll notice a shift in how you see yourself and the world. So remember, a growth mindset is not built in a single day. It's built in daily rituals, in reflections, in choices. Your toolkit is simple but powerful. Use it consistently, and you'll notice your entire life begin to shift. And now, we come to the final part of our journey, the closing. This is where we tie everything together, reflect on the lessons we've learned, and leave you with one final message. Your mindset creates your reality. Choose growth. Choose greatness.
We've spent the last hour and more on a journey together, exploring what it means to have a growth mindset. We've seen how challenges can be opportunities, how failure can be a teacher, how potential can be unlocked, and how daily habits can reshape the way we think. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: mindset matters. Your intelligence, your talent, your background, these things play a role, yes, but the single biggest factor in your success, happiness, and fulfillment is how you think. A fixed mindset sees limits. A growth mindset sees possibilities. Imagine a seed. On the surface, it looks small, fragile, insignificant, but inside, it carries the potential to become a mighty tree. Now, if that seed says, "I'll never grow, I'm too small, the soil is too hard," it will remain just a seed. But if it says, "I can grow, little by little, with water, sunlight, and time," it will break through the soil, grow roots, and one day reach for the sky. You are that seed, and your mindset is the water, the sunlight, the force that determines how far you'll grow. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, choose growth. When you face criticism, ask, "What can I learn from this?" When you fail, remind yourself, failure is feedback. When you doubt yourself, whisper, "Not yet, but soon." When you feel stuck, ask, "How can I grow from here?" Your journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Remember this: you were not born to remain the same. You were born to grow, to learn, to rise, and to become more. So go out there, embrace the challenges, unlock your potential, and build the life you were meant to live. Because at the end of the day, mindset matters. And when you choose a growth mindset, you choose a life without limits. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments below, tell me, what's one challenge you're going to embrace this week with a growth mindset? I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep believing in your potential.